It was just a couple of days ago. I could swear, as the news broke, I heard shrieking across the land as people collectively shaved their heads and reached out opened their windows, stuck their head outs, and screamed 1,000 screams like they were being burned by the fire of 1,000 suns because Bernard Sanders had dropped out of the presidential race and then kind of endorsed Joe Biden. Well, now we have this story. Devastated Bernie supporters melt down on Twitter after he drops out. Please check on them. I want to make sure I clarify, these are not the same people, but some people are trying to insinuate it is. This is the really, really cringy woman who did the OK Boomer thing, and then all of these thirsty, like, beta male feminists started following her until she mentioned she had a boyfriend, and then all of a sudden they got really angry and started yelling at her. Man, we've done a bunch of segments over on the Teamcast IRL podcast about what makes a real man. And I'll tell you what, male feminists are not real men. I'm somewhat kidding. I don't know what a real man is. But listen, if you're going to follow this woman and like, and screech and cry and, you know, for her because you want her and do whatever she says. And then when you find out she got a boyfriend, you get all angry. She apparently had 100,000 followers, announced she had a boyfriend, and then lost all of her followers. I don't know if that's true. That's like a rumor on the internet, but whatever. The point is, these Bernie people are seriously losing their minds. Not all of them. There have been a bunch of graceful people tweeting like, you had a good run, Bernie. Appreciate your support. We look forward to, you know, what you do in the future and blah, blah, blah. But for now, we have some people who are absolutely freaking out. Well, it's only a couple. The other big news here is the other result of the Bernie Sanders dropout. Check this out. Wall Street stocks rose because Bernie Sanders suspended his presidential campaign. Wow. Well, you know, to be honest, stocks love certainty. And now that Bernie was out, we know what's going to happen. We can make better predictions. People are going to invest. Pluralist writes, in the wake of Bernie Sanders' announcement that he suspended his 2020 campaign, the Vermont senator's most ardent supporters poured out their emotions on social media. Sanders, the frontrunner in February, acknowledged on Wednesday he no longer had a viable path toward the Democratic nomination after a string of nominating contest losses to Joe Biden, but promised to work with the former vice president to oust President Donald Trump. Then together, standing united, we will go forward to defeat Trump, the most dangerous president in modern American history, he said in a live stream. The 78-year-old senator, whose progressive agenda pulled the party sharply to the left, had early success in the Democratic race before losing in South Carolina. With their dreams of seeing Sanders in the White House shattered, some of the Democratic Socialists' most passionate followers on Wednesday vowed not to rally behind the presumptive nominee. And even more took to Twitter to vent their feelings of betrayal, anguish, and confusion. I would like to play for you this video. I'm concerned it will hurt your ears, though. I'm going to give you a warning right now to turn the volume down just a little bit because I'm going to play this clip. Assuming the audio plays properly, you will thank me for the warning. Here it comes. It's just... There you go. Did it stop? Oh, that's it. Thank you. 614,000 views. Is this performance art? I hope it's fake. Look, I'm not going to, contact these people and ask them if they were legitimately putting on Bernie shirts and just screaming at the camera, but that's exactly what we're seeing. The tweet says these Bernie supporters are going through a difficult time. Please check on them. Make sure they're okay. Remember the woman when Donald Trump won, she fell to her knees and she's like, nah. Oh, yeah, we're getting more of that. Pro-life advocate and artist Camelia Alexian even argued sympathy towards supporters going through a difficult time. Prominent Sanders supporters in the media, including radical leftist activist Linda Sarsour and controversial feminist journalist Talia Lavin, said they were heartbroken by the news. Ben Shapiro tweeting, "This right into my veins." Talia Lavin tweeting heartbroken. Linda Sarsour said, "I'm heartbroken, but I also know we have an election to win in November. Donald Trump must be defeated. People are counting on us. Bernie Sanders will always be my political hero. He changed the narrative, reminded us we are worthy and there's no going back from here." Edo says, feels new and strange to cry because of a politician. That's a new feeling. Okay, actually, let me stop. Talia and Linda Sarsour had respectable responses. Like, I agree. I mean, if you were heartbroken because someone you really wanted to win didn't win, that's a fair thing to say. It's rational. If you say, I'm heartbroken, but we must pull forward, I'd also respect that. It's a calm and rational thing to do. But this dude, Edo, are you crying because Bernie lost? Man, I feel like some of these people just need to go do some manual labor for a little bit. I wonder if they've ever lifted a heavy object in their life. I don't understand how you can cry over someone you don't know, you barely know anything about, losing a political race. What do you think is going to happen? Like Bernie Sanders gets elected and then all of a sudden a clouds part and light shines down. Rivers are split down the middle, revealing an ancient path to utopian society, or an ancient text that's going to reveal the path towards your socialist paradise. What did you think was going to happen? Bernie would get elected, and if he did, then he'd immediately start changing his policies like all presidents do. He's the president. He's not Congress, so he's not going to pass hard laws. What would happen is Bernie would get elected and then go, I'm going to put a moratorium on enforcing pot laws or something. So if you want to cry because now you're not going to be able to smoke pot in your state, which hasn't legalized it, I guess that makes sense. But what else do you think Bernie was going to do? Bernie would get in office and be like, I'm calling on Congress to pass healthcare reform. And then they don't. None of these people have any idea how politics actually works. That's the thing. They think Donald Trump has like a switch and he's like, I'll make the government do this, flick. I'll pass this law, flick. No, it's not. Trump wants them to pass that small business loan expansion. The Democrats said no. Trump can't do anything about it. That's how the government works. So I don't know what they expect. I don't know why they care so much about this. I think it's important when you get your politician, your president to win. I get it. They have an agenda. They have an administration. They control the executive branch and the armed forces. A lot of reasons to support specific candidates. I think military service is the most important for the commander in chief. But what did you think Bernie was going to do? Emily Ratajkowski, who is most famous for getting naked on Instagram, tweets, I feel so hopeless and devastated and powerless. I got no beef. I don't know a lot about her, but I will tell you, it's weird to see her propped up as some kind of prominent voice when for the most part, all she does whenever something happens is get naked. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean, she'll go on Instagram. It's like Bernie lost. She'll get naked and be like, Bernie lost. Here's what I'm doing. Something happens. She's like, here's a picture of me naked to help all of the people. It's like, I get it. You're a woman and you got I don't know what else she's supposedly doing, but whatever. We saw this. I commented on this the other day. Brianna Joy Gray says, on the plus side, I can drop the Democratic from my tweets about why socialism is good. Yes. And here's what I pointed out. The word, the qualifier that explains how you don't want to force people into gulags, and to take away their rights. You decide to remove that word. Right. Now, I got to unfortunately debunk this one. Here's a tweet that says, Bernie dropped out. Huh? Huh? What WTF are we going to do now? The only two options left is racist and rapist. WTF. I don't know who she's referring to. Both of them? Look, because of the criticism of both Trump and Biden. I have no idea. But this is a video of this woman. And again, your ears. It got 23 million views. She is stomping on her memory foam mattress while crying and yelling. I think this is performance art. I don't know what this is. I tried to find where it came from. I don't know. But I kind of feel like a woman is joking. Now, here's the thing. This is not a new video, so I got to debunk this one. This is not a woman crying about Bernie Sanders, because this video actually goes back. I found a clip on Twitter from the 22nd of March, so well before Bernie Sanders actually dropped out. I don't know what she's actually complaining about. I tried looking up and didn't find it. Maybe you know. But let me tell you what real people are doing. While many of these Bernie supporters are crying and screaming, in the real world, people are cheering and clapping because their stocks are going up. Wall Street stocks rose because Bernie Sanders suspended his campaign. United Health Group, Anaheim, and Cigna jumped between 4 and 7%, and the healthcare index provided one of the biggest boosts among the 11 major S&P 500 sectors. This is because Bernie Sanders is for, Medicare for all. He wants to abolish private healthcare. If Bernie gets elected, that's his main agenda item. He can't just snap his fingers and do it, but he can push that through with his supporters and the agenda and being the leader of the Democratic Party. Now that he's out, people feel confident you can invest in these medical companies or healthcare companies. They say the news added to early gains after President Trump said the United States might be getting to the top of the curve in relation to the outbreak, even as New York and several other states posted their highest number of daily virus-related fatalities. You got a lot of good news. The market has been doing a lot better. We got a lot of bad news. We got mass graves in New York. We got massive unemployment filing, 16.6 million. But for those that do not like Bernie Sanders, it's been good news that he dropped out. There's a lot of uncertainty. It's good news for Biden, but it's bad news for the Democrats. I don't think Bernie could win. I think he may have won in 2016 because they had a lot of support for him, and Hillary Clinton was just so awful. But what people don't realize, and especially those that are Trump supporters, is that to a lot of Americans, Trump is awful as well. And I'm not just talking about the resistance, do-nothing Democrat types in the far left. I'm talking about regular Americans who just think Trump is gross and incompetent. They exist. Trump has been winning them over with his coronavirus efforts. Not all of them, but many of them. So his approval ratings have been going up. This is great news. Bernie couldn't win. People thought he was going to run again. He was going to win. He couldn't do it. Stocks are improving, particularly off the news that Bernie is out. And the rest of you can gloat in, whatever you want to say, like Ben Shapiro said, right into his veins. You can gloat because people's preferred candidate lost. Now, look, man, if somebody comes out and gracefully accepts defeat, Bernie Sanders did, whatever, man, I'm over it. To all the Bernie Sanders supporters, sorry that your candidate didn't win. I think, he put up a good fight. I disagree with him. I respect his ability to articulate his ideas as much as I don't think they're good ideas. And I respect a lot of the Bernie Sanders supporters, higher profile progressives, who have put forth their arguments, much to the annoyance of everyone else. So look, I put my arguments forward. They probably get annoyed with me, but I respect the fight. I respect what they went through. And I think we can all sit down and agree now. We don't need to mock and belittle those who are screeching on camera. Though, I think even Bernie Sanders supporters, the legit ones, can point out why that's nuts. How about we all come together right now and point out why Joe Biden is the worst possible thing we've ever seen? You can complain about Trump being the bad man. Fine, Bernie Sanders said it. But Bernie, you really think Joe Biden is a good idea? You're lying, dude. No honest person thinks Biden's a good idea. Bernie Sanders supporters don't think Biden's a good idea. Bernie Sanders supporters are tweeting, don't vote for either of them. So come on, can we at least just admit, while the orange man may be bad, Joe Biden is completely non-viable? You want to complain about Trump's attitude? Yes, please, go ahead. But can we talk about Joe Biden just not being capable? At least Trump speaks English. I say the same thing about Bernie Sanders. The Democrats went nuts on this one. I'll leave it there. Stick around. I will see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. on this channel. Adios.